Ta-da!
of the guidelines.
Yep,
We
I
have
got
a
it.
link with you for the guidelines. Okay.
And hey, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi.
Or you can mute your side of the Discord na.
But oh man, I wonder how it's gonna end today. Starting off with this part 3, the end. Tin Man storyteller record. Amiya storyteller record. Part 4, the end, and then Amiya's module. Got this. So explore. Archives. Oops. Wrong one, but it's okay. Oh yeah, okay, let me do that. So part 3 of the end. Wow, I love how it's a messy room. So Tin Man sighs when he opens the door. The lamp lying flat on its side, the radio turned up to the highest volume, potato chip bags floating in midair, water seeping out of the bathroom door crack, window shutters tied up in a knot, TV lying wrong side up, books stacked haphazardly on the ground, tea table upside down, sofa riddled with holes filled with potato chips. Sheesh! There was no expression on his face. He knew that what was coming. Where'd you go? What took you so long? Where's the yogurt I wanted? Is it the cilantro flavor? Any fun? I'm bored. I want to go out. Turn that damn noise off. Oh my goodness. You know, maybe it wasn't worth bringing the other ancestors out, because, ugh. Just no. No. Ooh, I'm doing pretty good today, minus the heat. Like, gosh darn hot weather here. Bleh. And ooh, some Miss Cinderella Grey's free on YouTube. Oh, nice. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't put the second season free as well. Oh gosh, slow down. Tin Man puts down the bulging paper bags, one at a time. Don't they give you straws when you buy yogurt these days? That's just shameful. This was old Curly. Lend me your hat. I want to make a parachute. This was Lil Mo. Tin Man walks to the sofa, stops to think, and decides against sitting down. Can't you guys learn to quiet down like Big Larry? On the sofa, Big Larry rolls his eyes, sucking on a pacifier. What is this? Maybe they just want to match their new bratty bodies. Ah. Gosh darn it, these ancestors, they're having way too much fun now. Tin Man hears a deep rumbling voice in his head. Don't you see I have something in my mouth? Revenants don't use their mouths to speak. Old Curly angrily waves his walking stick. A few days in Colombia, and you've already forgotten how to talk. Big Larry's deep voice rumbles again. Revenants don't eat cilantro-flavored chips either, but you do. What do you say? I'm saying, Old Curly, you damn fool. I've had enough of cilantro. You don't like cilantro either, little Mo. Grab Old Curly's neck. Sure. Wait, he's a donut. Where's his neck? Then grab the hole. Woohoo! Fool! I meant his hole, not his hole. The lasso turns around in midair and flies towards Tin Man. Hey. Tin Man swats it away. I'm the one who's to pay for all this ruined furniture. Can't you guys behave yourselves for the sake of my wallet? Well, for the sake of your chips. We were so close. I can't believe that cunning Colombian saw through it. Hand over the hat, and I'll spare your wallet. The trio had been fighting a moment ago. Now present a united front. A hot dog, donut, and a cheeseburger. All made from metal like Tin Man. Cunning Colombian. Is that a self-introduction? Tin Man leans against the sofa armrest. You
You got your passports right here. Hey, where'd they go? Did you steal them again, Big Larry?
Big Larry casually tosses 3 Colombian passports into the air.
Not my fault you lost them because you're not paying attention. One of these days, I'm sewing all my pockets shut.
Tin Man waves his hand, and the passports fall back onto the ground.
Have you any idea how much effort it took to get these pieces of paper?
Old Curly pokes Tin Man's knee with a stick. Can we go out into the streets now?
Not so fast. Your security screenings are still in progress.
Tin Man says.
Don't look at me like that. You wouldn't believe how many questionnaires and declarations I had to fill out these past few days.
Wilmo, dressed in pioneer garb, kicks the air in disappointment. I'm about to suffocate, trapped in this cesspool all day. I want to sling guns and ride off into the sunset on a bird and beast. Dude, so you were stuck in the furnace for how long, and now you can't even wait like a few days in an apartment?
This isn't a cesspool. It's a transit center with special security measures. Everything here is valuable. Whoever left the tap needs to shut it off right now.
Tin Man takes a glance at the top-wheel TV and pulls the plug.
Stop watching pioneer movies and childish comedies. You should have outgrown them millennia ago.
Like you're any younger, counters Big Larry. It looks so busy out on the streets. Wilmo pokes his head into the gaps in the blinds, gazing out onto the midnight streets. But we're stuck in this stinking cesspool. We should have gone back to Casdale. At least there was heat in the furnace and hot water that doesn't stop running. Old Curly jumps on the sofa, and the sound of running water in the bathroom stops. Tin Man knocks on his stiff joints with the back of his hand. These ancestors, I want to bonk them. Like, what the heck? Yeah, you know what? It's like, oh, Hayok. The heel girl, you want to meet these revenants, these other revenants? You should babysit them for me. Teach them a lesson. Oh no, unless they're into it, then oh. Uh-oh. We came with you because you promised Columbia was going to be fun. Tin Man removes his hat and uses it as a fan. I'll tell them you're a liar and a cheat.
Tell who?
Tin Man covers Big Larry with his hat. Big Larry has to hold the brim up with both hands to keep himself from being swallowed whole.
Fremont, Wizardell, or the one on her shoulder.
Tin Man raises his voice.
Casdale's being born anew. All that is old is being melted down to form new bricks for the city. Who would care about you if you went back? What can you do?
The revenants fall silent, and the lively music in the radio seems even more jarring. Someone tutted, and the radio turned into a smoking pile of scrap in the blink of an eye, as though crushed by an invisible hand.
150 gold certificates,
says Tin Man,
deducted from your pocket money.
Big Larry lets go and lets his hat slide down, hiding him completely. The low rumbling voice echoes once again in a dimension inside the hat and outside the room, only with a tinge of sorrow this time.
Cesspool, cesspool.
Old Curly and Lil Mo join in the chorus. Cesspool, cesspool, cesspool. Tin Man shakes his head, picks up the fallen TV, plugs it in, and turns a knob. The room is filled again with the sound of a comedy trio. The brim of the hat is lifted slightly, turning towards the TV. Tin Man grabs it and puts it back in his head. Oh my goodness. He's like, fine then. Here you go, it's TV time. Stop sulking.
Larry, Curly, and Mo.
Tin Man reads out the names that appear on the screen. The middle hot dog, donut, and cheeseburger turn towards him.
I didn't think I'd be taking you back with me when I sat down by the furnace. Beyond the furnace is just another furnace. But a thought came to me when I shared the burgers and fries with you. I want to share everything bright and beautiful I see and touch with you. Compensation? No. I owe you nothing, but you deserve it. If the memories of the past have been burned away, why not live again as though it's your first time and try to live differently? That's what I said back then. I waited a long time, but you three were the only ones who came out of the furnace.
Laughs Tin Man.
I don't know if you understood or not. I did.
Says Big Larry. Suddenly, there's a jingle for the TV, and the ancient New Colombians turn towards it. The three distinctive characters suddenly start playing music in the middle of a solemn court trial. One of them uses his cello, like a bow, to fire an arrow into the mouth of the court clerk.
That one's you, old Curly. You screwed up again.
Big Larry laughs gruffly. Shut up! I'm not that dumb! Old Curly is so angry that his mustache curls up. You lose! Pay up! Lil Mo unabashedly threatens with his lasso. Old Curly angrily takes out a stack of gold certificates from under the hat and passes a few to the other two revenants before giving the rest to Tin Man.
For the radio, buy some cilantro-flavored chips for me with what's left. I know what you two are gonna say, and you can shut it. It's your loss that you don't understand the sophisticated flavor of cilantro on metal.
Tin Man takes the gold certificates with a smile.
I'll hold on to this for you. You can buy them on your own when I take you to the store in a few days. The interest rate is half a gold certificate per day.
Old Curly turns back towards the screen.
Yes, I finally understand how interest works. Doesn't matter if you hide it from me. You can learn everything on TV. Sure, you still owe me 200 in cleaning fees though. And there's interest on that too. Cesspool!
Interjects Big Larry without turning around. Wow, just... Oh no! Would it be even more chaotic if they got into touch with like our slime, the Demasti? Like, especially since they were reborn again. Tin Man's gonna have to take care of so many brats. I did not expect the end with the messy room to be like this. Thank you, ancestors. Sheesh. Ooh, the second season of Cinderella Grey isn't out yet, and apparently Cinderella Grey is a series taking place for the regular Uma anime, and a lot of characters are more... Ooh. Oh, I like that. Vehicles are fun. And now for Tin Man. File number 3. Early debriefing. On his way back, Tin Man stopped by some of his Melander Foundation colleagues. Oh no, I wonder what his colleagues are gonna say. Oh, the chaos. So part 1. Out in the wastelands of Colombia, great square pillars dot the wilderness. They are frontier bases. Each is about 150 to 250 meters tall. Though near a third of this height is driven security into the ground, requiring specialized pneumatic platforms to install them. Even the remaining 2/3 that stand above ground are enough to make them a remarkable sight in the wastelands. Out in the dull and monotonous barrens, these bases serve as important visual markers to traveling pioneers, whether by ground or air. So for every batch of new pillars built, you pick a few you like and carve offices out of the insides. Oh, so that's how offices are born here, or created. Ooh, so it's gonna be more serious for Cinderella Grey. And hey, hello, hello. The one lounging in the folding chair, commenting while puffing out billows of smoke, is Tin Man, one of Melander Foundation's top agents, recently returned from vacation. Due to his metal body, his aptly name, the folding chair he bought on a whim can't actually support his weight. It seems pretending to slouch on it is not beyond his skills. He only did that for the visual. I love that. Oh man. You had to speedrun Chapter 15's event in the last day in order not to lose store loot. Nice.
They're just temporary installations, mainly used to make things easier for traveling agents. The significance of their existence has been proven.
The one unhurriedly straightening out the creases on his shirt is the mainlander employee who welcomed him in.
CUP 241. I remember the president's New Year's speech of '99, all about celebrating the successful installation of the 200th frontier base. We do things differently nowadays. Drive the pillars in first, and only declare them open for use when the time is right. Since your contingent had been so busy with national defense, I understand maybe you haven't heard about the policy change. Even if all it takes is a short walk east to leave the wasteland. It's precisely because of that we need to be more flexible. As long as it's not broadcasting a call sign. This big pillar is no Colombian installation, but rather a natural rock formation. Sure. So I'm guessing this counts as a secret interrogation in the secret base? Interrogation? Hardly. We both know that you need only ask, and you could be sitting with the ladies and gentlemen inside immediately.
The employee glances at a tightly shut metal door in the back of the room. Of course, they know themselves too, he adds.
Whatever the case, I hope the Foundation won't act too hastily or recklessly when it comes to handling an agent who's just returned from some R&R in a highly sensitive region, possibly carrying high-value intel.
The alarms in both of their watches beep in unison.
You're absolutely right, but it's time now. Please, go ahead.
The employee opens the metal door, then politely stands aside. Part 2. Out in the Colombian wilderness, the frontier bases do far more than just act as visual references for travelers. Each base has its own unique identifier, or call sign. A functioning base can receive signals from all sorts of standard communication equipment with Colombia's borders, and respond with its identifier. It will also regularly broadcast its identifier without prompting. In theory, since all bases emit signals at the same power level, a pioneer can pinpoint their location easily, presuming no active catastrophes, of course. Though the originium in the atmosphere is fickle and complex, making the repetition of wireless signals a major engineering hurdle. There's still many moored cities that have managed to connect themselves to a base via a massive cable, which links to another city in turn. The room behind the metal door is more or less an ordinary meeting room. It is occupied by a square table, with 2 folding chairs on one side, and several large screens on the other. A teleconference room, only functional thanks to those cables. These things didn't exist a decade ago. While leaning against the wall, Tin Man ponders the length of 10 years compared to his grander view of time and space. He makes no move towards the chairs. Terribly sorry, procurement's had it rough lately. As an apology, I'll make sure to do the minutes meticulously. The employee chuckles, taking a seat in one of the chairs. The Casio Special Committee would like to begin this discussion and inquiry regarding Agent Tin Man's report. Every screen lights up with the Mainlander Foundation's logo as a line of text scrolls across one of them. Apparently, this young man over here is going to get the minutes down perfectly, so I suggest we get straight to business. As for all the procedural stuff, we can submit the documents later. Tin Man gestures at the employee. He's sure those on the other side of the screen can see them. I suggest the committee members present vote on it. The reply comes through much slower than the previous line. Ah, no need for that. I know you're all champing at the bit to ask me questions. Then we will go with your idea. But a meeting agenda should be determined by the democratic discussion of the committee. Did you all decide to give up that particular principle? Only after a few minutes does a response flash across the screen. You're right. We have democratically decided on the following. Please stop trying to make fun of us. Let us get straight to business. Why the rush? Anything I say here can be said back in DC. Tin Man waves about a cigarette, a sign that he's just grumbling. The meeting begins. Okay, at the Foundation, it's surprisingly more relaxed than I thought it would be. And now, part 3. Can you confirm that within one of these tales, you encountered an event where President Mark Max issued a declaration that was a major turning point in the relationship between Colombia and Casdell?
I can, yes. The president used the term blood pact. And like I said in my report, the strangest thing is that this could only be an illusion derived autonomously by the furnace. It certainly didn't come from any of the narrators.
Would you say the probability of this event occurring in reality is?
Very, very, very low. I must reiterate that neither I nor any of the narrators are able to determine the cause and effect of what happens within a furnace illusion. It constantly changes based on our words, or the revenants, or perhaps by its own will.
Can it be reasonably inferred that should the opportunity arise, it could lead to President Mark Max making similarly drastic changes to Colombia's diplomatic stance?
I can't write it off completely, but I believe trying to use the furnace's illusions to infer how Kazo will develop in the future is a fool's game, which is why I didn't bother giving a detailed report of every tale.
Why do you think that is? Or why do you think that?
Because it's essentially a gaggle of Sarkaz lunatics telling tall tales to amuse themselves. I'm sure I made it very clear in the introduction of my report that many of the preconditions for these events no longer exist. Rather than trying to divine the future from illusions, it'd be better to keep a close eye on the real Casdell outside of the furnace.
Even so, we cannot ignore the fact that the illusions themselves are an astonishing phenomenon.
Hardly. Just some chatter between revenants. Why? There are 4 revenants in Colombia as we speak. Once we're back in DC, I can make a house call and introduce them, if you like. I'm sure the Tin Friends would be more than happy to oblige.
Oh, I wonder how they would feel about, like, seeing that, like, ooh, more revenants, okay. The committee would like your opinion on another topic. In the years to come, how should Colombia treat Casdell? How should we handle it? Another puff of smoke slowly makes its way out of Tin Man's mouth.
No need to change anything in the approach. If you decide to preemptively handle Casdell, you'll be showing the entirety of this great land that we have the ability to cross Ursus, Victoria, Lithuanian, and a host of other nations' territories, all to do something like that. There's no need for that. You might have forgotten that within our fair nation's borders, there are already countless Sarkaz who haven't been treated or handled very nicely at all. I suggest you begin with them. Besides, let's save a little face for the old Eastern core empires.
Tin Man adds with a smile. Very well. The committee has noted your opinions.
We appreciate your hard work.
Once they cross the middle door, Tin Man and the employees shake hands.
Nonsense. You're the one who's going to have to do all the hard work later.
The employee glances at the stack of papers under his arm and gave a wry smile. Forgive me if this is rude, but don't you think it's a pity?
Pity? What do you mean?
To me, it sounds like this furnace in Casdell's some sort of miracle machine.
It was built by a lot of people who had no other choice if they wanted to survive.
I get that, but I've never heard of anything else like that. Turning stories into vivid scenes. No other witchcraft or arts comes close.
Well, there's a rub, kid. We don't have those sort of arts either.
What do you mean?
What happens inside the old furnace isn't just the result of Sarkaz witchcraft. And as recent history has taught us, we need to be cautious when it comes to this kind of opportunity. Nowadays, the people who have built it to survive don't need it anymore. As far as Terra is concerned, that's a good thing. Nothing's a pity about that. Hopefully this latest batch of recruits gets that too.
With those parting words, Tin Man slips on his coat and strides out of the secret office. He walks through the bustling post office hall right outside, which is still under decoration, and out its main door. He now stands before the frontier base, CUP-241. This particular base hasn't begun broadcasting yet, and the pioneers have yet to arrive. But by its side, a brand new service station is being built. A pump well dispenses water, and a basement facility opens wide its door, revealing all sorts of specialized vehicles ready to use. In Colombia, settlements form naturally around frontier bases. At least until catastrophe or a gang of rust hammers tear them away. Even so, the pioneers will return and build everything anew. Sometimes, it's the government building these stations, offering basic services such as mail transportation and originium machinery. But every base requires regular maintenance, equipment must be serviced, and originium parts must be replaced. Even well-installed underground cables may need reconnection if they are severed by sudden crystal growth. For decades, the newborn Columbia has handled all this with astonishing efficiency. This is the will of Columbia. That's the conclusion Tin Man landed on long ago. Every time he thinks about it, he can't help but feel a little proud. But he also hasn't forgotten that such will requires proper guidance.
Violations of workplace etiquette, like moving up report deadlines or scheduling meetings in the wee hours of the morning, need to be strictly regulated. Or better yet, they shouldn't happen full stop.
He murmurs towards the rising sun. Okay, yeah, moving up deadlines and having super duper early meetings. Yeah, I don't like those either. That sounds terrible. No, no, no. Like, I feel for you, Tin Man. He's doing so much work to keep the revenants. Sheesh. And now for Bestie Storyteller Record. File number 8, Contact. The furnace stories finish one after the other. Will you be what Amiya is looking for when it no longer burns? For you, the longer the deadline, the more prioritized it should have. Part 1. Amiya had long understood the truth of her creation. The salvation she sought was simply the deus ex machina that would emerge when the storytellers ran out of ideas. She brings her stories to an end when one can no longer think of a way to continue them. And when she does so, the storytellers disappear, and then reappear in another corner of the void to continue creating new stories. This is the duty that had been bestowed upon her, to bring an end to the story. Amiya does not care what her creators thought. She simply seals away the tragedies about to happen, and continues to search for a way to save everyone. Amiya had searched for a long, long time, so long that time itself had become vague and indistinct. She could almost summarize all the stories. They all begin with a furnace, and a team of Sarkaz settling out on a journey, who experienced many things before arriving at the end they wanted to tell. Arriving before her, as though under some kind of restriction. Could it be that the Sarkaz telling the stories are themselves a creation of the eyes of others, just like herself? If so, who created them? And are they still watching this even now? Amiya gazes at the void. As she continued to explore the activities of the storytellers, Amiya became increasingly certain of their existence. Stories that ended abruptly, stories that took their anger out on other stories that ended before they even began. Their endings did not come from the telling, but from something else. In countless cycles of sealing and searching, Amiya met Nymph time and again, put an end to the story time and again, and approached the truth she sought, one step at a time. Finally, for the first time, Amiya sealed Nymph away. As Nymph disappears, Amiya looks up at the void, and in that instant, when all light fades into darkness, she sees you. Amiya attacks without hesitation. If you could see it, you would be in awe of the speed and power held in that ship-like originium cone. That is only the prelude to the attack, though. All it takes is for one particle of originium to reach you, and Amiya will extract what she is looking for from your mind. But all you see is your reflection in the darkness. The distance between you and Amiya is not far, but a single layer of unreckonable darkness blocks everything. The instant is fleeting. Amiya's attack evaporates without you ever noticing. As the light returns, Amiya senses that you are gone. But it is a good start. Amiya has time, she is tough, and she does not know how to give up. If she is convinced that you are the source of all suffering, then she will never let you escape. Oh no! Well? Oh, imagine having Amiya as an enemy, or especially, you know, our Lord of Fiends Amiya. Part 2. It has been a long time since Amiya's first encounter with you. She is beginning to realize that she cannot harm you physically. At the same time, she is forced to admit that while she initially saw only the wounds, there are many other stories among those she had sealed that left an impression on her. Even after being sealed, they shine bright like stars around her. Stories that were influenced by you. Perhaps she should approach you in a different way. She tries. Language, you cannot hear it. Action, you cannot see it. Amiya wants to understand you, but there is no way for you to know her efforts. This does not faze her. If you do exist, you must have left something of yourself, a projection in the innumerable stories, even if it's not real. Even if it is not real time, she may be able to discern what sort of person you are through your deeds. Probably Oracle. Amiya had never imagined that you were always by her side. As story after story tears a cocoon, she is almost certain that the one by the name of Doctor, wearing a hood concealing the face, is your projection in the many stories. The darkness under the hood is identical to the one that Amiya sensed in the void after the end. In most of the stories, you are always by Amiya's side, keeping Amiya company, and being inspired by Amiya. You are Amiya's beep. Perhaps it is your absence from her life, combined with all the other variables, that made her into this unique being that she is now. This is not what you wanted. And so, Amiya's understanding of you grows. You are not some vast, conceited will, nor the puppet master behind the storytellers. You are simply you. A spectator to the stories being told, enjoying their ups and downs. You sometimes express your emotions without reservation, and sometimes even choose how the stories progress, but always within the boundaries of a framework. Even if you are bound by certain rules, storytellers tell those stories to the end. While you read them and respond to them, and arrange every conflict for them, here at the end, Amiya senses only your victory, your pride. At the ends of the fragments, she can sense other emotions. Helplessness at being devoured by the enemy, regret at making the wrong choice, anger at the cruelty of fate, and surprise at the suddenness of the end, followed by distancing from the land. Things have not always gone smoothly for you. You've experienced plenty of pain and suffering as well. Amiya would seal you away too if she could, to spare you from more inevitable pain. Yet everything she wants to do to you can never succeed. In the fleeting moment of darkness at every ending, she has tried to communicate with you, but you have always waited for the darkness to pass before your attention is drawn by the reappearing light. Amiya is yet to receive a response, but she will keep trying. You cannot give her the answer she seeks, how to save everything, but you are the only one capable of walking with her on this eternal, endless path. It's probably the doctor that's playing the Furnaceside Fables, honestly. But she says that they're influencing all the stories. And that's why she can't reach them. It's like, oh man, I want to reach this doctor. Can't go through screen. Like, sorry, Amiya. Sorry you can't reach us personally. Part 3. Yet another ending. You watch yourself defeat Amiya, Furnace finale, and you know that she will soon seal away Nymph with this story. Most of the time, you tap the strange symbol in the upper right, allowing you to skip all previously seen messages, and taking you straight into yet another storyteller's tale. Yep, it's the gamer. But this time, you quickly tap the boundary between you and her. You watch Amiya's eyes open, and the white cocoon slowly forming before your eyes. Perhaps you're just imagining it, but you feel like Amiya's looking at you. Your thoughts do not affect your actions, however. Tap a few more times and everything here will come to an end. After a fleeting moment of darkness, you will see a detailed list of all that you've seen. Then you will visit an elaborately designed screen and experience it all again. A few taps and the screen grows dark. Once again, you see yourself in the reflection of the dark boundary. Soon, a faint light appears. You're puzzled. These lines of text have never appeared before. You're quickly overcome with the joy of discovering something new, and begin to read the symbols carefully. The lines are filled with Amiya's kindness. Their approval and blessings feel familiar. Then, the familiar list fills your vision. From that moment on, from time to time you choose not to touch the symbols after the story is ended, hoping for more surprises from Amiya. You do not remember how many stories you have seen. It has been a long time since you last received feedback from Amiya, and so, you begin to forget about it. But sometimes, after completing a challenge and defeating Amiya, with a great sense of satisfaction, you give the final scene the smallest bit of kindness, and end it with a sort of ritualistic tapping. You tap and tap, watching the blessings Amiya gives you, and an image of her. All returns to the familiar. Amiya's image? Something new again? By the time you realize this, you're already far from the moment that it appeared. You feel regret over this, but also renewed motivation to continue the challenge. Finally, after you have defeated Amiya once again, you see the image of Amiya that you missed. What else awaits? You feel joy. As one is prone to when discovering a new message, you feel like you're willing to wait a long time for them. And then, you forget about it. Your attention is soon drawn to the new things appearing on the screen. The Furnaceside Fables are now a thing of the past. There are more things, more meaningful things, waiting for you, compared to that elusive message. In the end, for whatever reason, you decide to take the storyteller's path once again. 3 hollow rectangles appear in this very familiar darkness, behind Amiya's image. They are usually buttons that only appear when there is a choice to be made. But this time, there is nothing in them. You pick one of them at random, and see Amiya close her eyes and just disappear. Nothing new from that point on. Just as one of the lines of text said, "Let it be the final word on this page." What do those blank rectangles mean?
Okay, hello?
Yeah? Hello, hello.
The end. The end does not come for her. Hello?
Yeah?
The fact her existence continue despite we reach the end. It seems that there's other nymphs in different furnaces who is also waking her up. I imagine after all the other nymphs furnace revenants are past, will the Lord of Fiends Samiya's story ends. So I hope this isn't eternal.
Well, it did say that this Amiya was born to be like the final ending. So back to this. What did those blank rectangles mean? You may not have realized, but Amiya sensed your emotions when you pressed the rectangle. Whatever they were, Amiya chose to accept them. It is the most she could do under the constraint of the rules, even if the boundary separates your world from hers forever. All is well, for communication has been established. A single tap, a single meeting of gazes, changes little. But that is what you and her can do. That is what we are. There is always meaning emerging from nothing, perhaps someday. When you have tapped them enough times, words corresponding to emotions will appear on those rectangles. And this journey will become one of the supporting pillars on our life's journey, subtle though it may be. Amiya departs. cute how we're able to communicate with her that way. Now for part 4 of The End. Sleep talking.
Lord of Fiend Samia, overall for you, in terms of that.
She's very bittersweet. Like, I feel bad for her. Like, she just doesn't want bad things to happen to everyone. The forcefully ending the story is just kind of oof.
Yeah, me. As well. Do you think that
No worries. So now part 4, sleep talking. With the furnace repairs complete, Nim's furnace syndrome has eased. Now she rarely sees ladders tossed from the sky or sheet metal houses transforming into white marble halls. As Kasdo's development progresses steadily, the mundane tasks that come with it have replaced the fantasies once spun by the revenants for the storytellers. Stories that have stayed in the furnace. Strange dreams still trouble her from time to time, though. She sees many familiar faces. Diablo, Lich, the Wendigo Knight, the twin kings that exist only in dreams. But they no longer take her on a never-ending journey through Kasdal. Instead, they stand silently with their heads bowed, covered in originium dust. There are other even stranger Sarkaz that Nymph has never seen. Some with wings with no membranes, some with horns that reach into the sky. They gather at the ruins of a tall building on what appears to be a snowy day. There seems to be a fire burning in the ruins. They utter an ancient Sarkaz language long forgotten. The raspy voices growing louder, the echoes beckoning by her ear. Nymph does not know the words, but she understands the meaning of the call. All stories will end, and the final conclusion shall arrive. At the end, a lone figure, clad in white and with a black crown over her head, appears amidst the dusty Sarkaz. They reach out to her longingly, with their arms and claws, but stop in midair. The call of the Sarkaz ceases. The figure utters, melting millions of lives into nothing but memories. This is when Nymph always wakes up with a start. It is the middle of the night, and Kasdal slumbers. Omnanam smolders quietly in the great furnace, with only the occasional flash emanating from the nodes. Nymph wonders if it is a symptom of furnace syndrome, and suspects that the embers of the revenants continue to burn in her heart. She even fears that she told them so many stories that they have been able to take root in her mind. Will I ever get better? Nymph asks in tears. Don't be ridiculous. If your brain could really house the revenants, then only go to show how empty it was in the first place. Or so says my master. Fremont was busy and had Ermengarde deliver the reply on his behalf. It is only when Rhodes Island once again stops at Kasdal that Nymph has the chance to seek treatment at the medical department. But even their doctors say, "You're probably just tired. Have you thought about taking a trip somewhere to clear your mind?" Nymph walks out of medical, but cannot shake the prophetic dream from her mind. Imagination wanders. Must all stories come to an end? What did the figure mean by melting millions of lives into nothing but memories? And the figure itself seems familiar to her, yet she cannot put a name to it. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and the name seems to come upon her lips. Nymph? She hears someone calls her from behind. Are you okay? Nymph turns around and finds the goddess standing behind her, with the doctor by her side. Amiya! Doctor! You're back? Nymph is excited to see Amiya in Kasdal again. Yes, we were discussing further cooperation with Babel. It is the doctor who answers her. serious as always. Demand for construction materials continues to increase. The number of Sarkaz who have chosen to move to Castel far exceeds expectations, and medicine supply is... More and more people are moving to Castel. Amiya pulls the doctor's sleeve. The plates that were so bare bones the last time we were here have been built up so much that even you couldn't recognize them, Doctor. The doctor does not argue, instead simply reaching up for an awkward head scratch over the hood. It is easy to get lost in Castle these days. The Dajan notices Amiya's grip on the doctor's clothes tighten for a moment, but she soon relaxes. Well, make sure you stick close to me next time. Amiya says this with a smile. There's no hint of concern in her voice, only excitement. Nymph drifts off again. The dreams that have troubled her once again float to the surface, but those still revenants, those chilling calls, have both become distant. Nymph seems to see Amiya become a wandering cleric. A black-robed apprentice following behind her. She sees cerulean flames devouring ships amongst the stars, illuminating their opposing faces. She sees the two walking through halls of white marble, the debate echoing in the clouds. She sees the two building a bridge between the stars. Amiya raises her hand, and the darkness between the stars is illuminated by the lens in her hand. In all those moments, Amiya's figure is no longer alone. The embers of the revenants are finally extinguished. Their murmurs become lost to the wind, and the only things echoing in her ears are the humming of Rhodes Island's machinery, and the sound of Amiya calling to her. Nymph? Are you really okay? Nymph comes back to her senses to see Amiya still standing before her, the doctor still standing by her side. Furnace syndrome again? I can help you deal with the memories if you want. No need for that, Amiya. Just getting lost in my fantasies, some wild delusions. The nightmares never troubled Nymph again. Aw, seeing regular Amiya and Dokta helps give her closure for Lord of Fiends Amiya and Oracle. That's pretty cute. Like, look at them. I like how it's just... Let me find the moment. Amiya becoming a wandering cleric, and then... Look at her, getting an apprentice. Oh my goodness, I wonder who her apprentice is. A black-robed apprentice following behind her. Like, welcome back, Oracle. And then look at them traveling all around.
Like the end is ambiguous. At the end, and I feel like that it's up to interpretation. For me, I like to imagine after Amiya's role was finished as the end of the stories. She might, like we saw on her storyteller record, Amiya departed. So who knows what kind of things that happened after she was able to put an end to the stories. I mean, she still continues to exist after all, in a, let's say, different plane of existence. That's what I that's what I understand from it.
For me, her and Dokta are probably, or her and Oracle are probably having like a fun adventure. Since they built a bridge between the stars, now they can just travel everywhere they want. So good for them. Watch them somehow wander into Talos too. The overall, this is
So,
cute.
I think we got to see a glimpse of Amiya's future, let's say, successor based on that. What was her appearance again?
Ooh. That one specific outfit? Or something else? Shoot.
For Yeah, ending 4. Like, wasn't there a description of Amiya taking an apprentice?
Oh, the black cloak. The black robed apprentice.
I think that's a foreshadowing of who we may see in Taurus 2.
Potentially. Like, if we see a black robed apprentice cleric, then we'll be like, oh. Hi, Amiya's successor.
Most thing I'm curious about is, how do you think the Sarkaz will remember Amiya to put in their history books? I mean, she's definitely a big party in Sarkaz history at this point. That'd be interesting to see in Talos 2.
Well, based on the ones who actually write stuff that we know of, like Hodor and Logos, they'll probably write positive things about her, specifically if it's them.
Also added Modrock Saints her module game, so that's a little bit of surprise addition.
Okay, let's see how crazy that's gonna end up being. So, or is she in squads? Amiya looks so pretty in that outfit. Good for you, Amiya. Oh, this is cute looking. The dress handpicked by Teresa. All for you, Amiya. Kelsey pauses at the door of the command center. Dr. Kelsey? The girl inside takes notice. She lifts her head in an attempt to catch Kelsey's gaze. However, stacks of files sprawled across the conference table obscures most of her face, revealing only the tips of a pair of fluffy ears. The leader of the Lithuanian convoy did not object to our terms. Kelsey listens as she moves towards the girl, gathering the scattered files. That does not mean they'll agree to all of them. Right. Well, they were polite during the negotiations. The way they looked at me felt cold and menacing. The girl winces, as if still feeling the sting of their sugar-coated animosity. Try not to. Be influenced by the emotions of others, especially their negative ones, I understand. The girl's smile is reassuring. Don't worry. I've already put them under the surveillance of Mantra's squad. Logos assured me that if they harbored any ill intentions towards Rhodes Island, their hands would be frozen to their staffs before they could even cast. Logos likely tempered his rhetoric when describing the devastating effects of his arts to protect this young girl. It has become a common practice among the operators, who adjust to her leadership while subconsciously taking her as a child who needs protection. Yet anyone who assumes that 11-year-old Amiya needs protection is soon taken aback by her shrewdness and meticulous nature. Okay, gosh darn it, that was when she was 11? Dang, Amiya! Young Amiya is growing quickly. She's already outgrown her bespoke dress from 3 months ago. And the rate at which her mind expands is even more remarkable. There are times when Kelsey felt that each day, the Amiya she saw was slightly different from the day before. She wasn't sure if it was merely a hallucination or if the influence of Civila Eterna on Amiya hadn't been completely subdued. Dr. Kelsey. Amiya's voice softened, like a pin dropping in a silent room. I've been dreaming again.
What did you dream about?
I dreamed of a person. She sat next to me, held my hand, and spoke of many things. Some were from my past, while others seemed like experiences yet to come.
The future?
Maybe. She told me that in a massive nomadic city, with steel-high walls, a terrible war will break out. Many, especially the Sarkaz, will perish, and black rocks will spread everywhere. And as she spoke of these things, she was so very upset, but she was strong that she didn't keep crying. She said that she would never give up, and that the future would become better. Kelsey extends her hand to the little girl. In the past year, the deceased have not been a topic commonly discussed. Perhaps Amiya still needed comfort to cope with her losses.
Amiya, it is only natural to miss those we have lost. You need not suppress your feelings for Teresa.
Well, I do miss Teresa a whole lot, but it wasn't her in my dream. Amiya's eyes widen. Dr. Kelsey, I think the person in my dream was me. Kelsey is slightly taken aback by this revelation, but before she can respond, Amiya's already rushed forward and embraced her. All this talking has made me hungry. The young girl shakes Kelsey's hands, her eyes shining with a precious look. She begins to drag Kelsey along, her voice bubbling with excitement. Dr. Kelsey, won't you keep me company? What should we get? Baked beans sound nice. Mr. Scott said that adding carrots would make them sweeter. Brr. Ursa's sure is cold. Do you think those who sit around all day feel cold too? Hey, Dr. Kelsey, do you ever... Dr. Kelsey? Kelsey holds onto Amiya's hand, allowing herself to be led. As Amiya's cheerful chatter fills the air, Kelsey finds herself lost in thought. Closure has done an impressive job with the landship. The lights in this corridor are so much brighter now. Aw, I wonder if that was Lord of Fiends. She must have already existed back then. The young Amiya. Change the future, make sure this doesn't happen.
I imagine it was as well. You once said that you are thankful. You once said that you are thankful that Lord of Insomnia didn't come to Terra. But I feel like even if she could, she wouldn't do anything to it because all of her aspirations and hope she saw through our Terra, through our Amiya, everything that she could have hoped for through with her own Terra. I feel like she wouldn't be even, let's say, salty about it, just happy that there's a world that is much more fortunate than hers. Even if she could not experience first. The fact is, there's an Amiya that has a better fate than hers. I imagine it was like a burden lifted off her shoulders.
So I bet if Lord of Fiends was jealous, the one thing she'd probably be the most jealous of is how our Amiya has us, the Doctor. Because Lord of Fiends tried so hard to talk to the Oracle, but couldn't exactly talk to them through the screen. Well, our Amiya and us, we just hang out all the time. Heck, even Kelsey's involved.
Think of the Furnace Fable as a context. Do you think it's an absolute must for this to be covered before chapter 15?
Like, oh heck yeah, especially knowing what happens, like, legit after the war. It's nice seeing how things ended up in Casdale. And heck, I love the lore behind Tin Man's friends. Holy cow, though, I didn't expect them to turn out so bratty. I mean, sure, of course, they're silly based on their designs, but in actuality, like, I want to go exploring. I want more cilantro flavored chips. Give me more television. I want water. Oh gosh, after they're allowed to explore, I don't know, are we gonna give them free reign? Nah, we gotta give them a babysitter. Someone, or actually wait, now I'm just imagining Tin Man going out with all the revenants on leashes. He's gonna be that one meme.
I have a theory about Lord of Insomnia. Since she actually exists, but in the sea of information of origin, I wonder in the simulated universe, would we somehow be able to, let's say, manifest or even meet her in, like, let's say, in Administrator, a simulated universe? But I think that's rather a far fetch. But I like to think that there's a possibility based on Amiya's emoji.
Oh, that would be really cool. Probably it's like a secret boss. Or secret encounter. So I feel like she'd probably be kind of incognito at that point. You'll just see like a
If
girl
that's
in a
the
dress.
case, are you excited to experience Lord of Insomnia?
Oh heck yeah, that'd be fun. How insane can it be?
As a fantasy.
Heck, the more Mia content, the better.
Uh, let's continue on na. It's Modrock's turn. She has a new module.
Oh, about this module?
She has a new module, a second module that was released.
The heck? Wait, where? Or is it not here yet?
Modrock. Modrock, I meant.
Oh, okay.
It's
Mia and all of her glorious drip. So this one, let's see. The art cradling the cocoon of dreams, still to the galaxy, dissolving into millions of threads. All with love as their needle, the many hands crafted a one-of-a-kind garment for Mia. The remaining threads intertwined with wishes and fashioned into a violin. Oh, and that's also the violin that her mom gave her. Ooh. Look at all the sparkly stories. And her precious violin. The one time she felt violence.
Misaki.
Mhm.
What do you make of the relationship between Oracle and Priestess in terms of your view back then in Bubble and your view now based on which grounds? Has it changed?
Has it changed? Not really, though. I want to know more about Priestess. Gosh darn it. She's just entertained watching all this happen at this point.
Yeah. For me, why I asked that? For me at first, I thought that Priestess was Oracle's shackles due to how Bubble turned out. But after Twin Crowns, it was not a shackle, but rather not see. It is a very deep bond that they share. Our Oracle's circumstances was faced by an impossible choice, a choice that he can only choose one or the other. While in Twin's Crown, he was able to choose both because of the resigned races. Unshackled by a priestess and priestess supporting and respecting Oracle's choices. Because the fact she did not interfere. In the end, I see now Oracle treasures priestess and priestess the same. In our Terra, for Teresa, that deep treasure bond with priestess might as well be a shackle for her and her people. That stops Oracle to truly walk Terra's path. The doctor to walk with Terra. And Teresa cut off that bond, severing that choice. And only one choice is left. Live through this land, giving us as they call a chance to truly form and bond with Terra's land and people. But for Priestess, it might as well be her only bond, and Teresa cut that bond off. The doctor might remember some memories, but those were Oracle's memories. Oracle promises and vow to Priestess. And I imagine the feelings and emotion that comes with it is no longer. Priestess and Oracle shared is no longer there. No matter how omnipotent Priestess may be, no creature with a life and existence can truly live in isolation. And for Priestess, it seems she has an unshakable belief that Oracle's essence is still in the current doctor, based on chapter 14, that she will wait no matter how long it will take.
Well, Oracle was always gonna do more research on Originium anyway, so that part never changed. It's just that we decided not to go full villain. So yeah, no Omnanom, sorry. Also, I just realized, like, inside of the skin, look, it's probably like the little box that Dokta kept impressing, or Oracle kept impressing, that little square that says the Dreamer. Or at least I'm assuming, because in the ending or the description for the Lord of Fiends, she started making like pop-up boxes. So I imagine that's probably what they saw. It's like, okay, look at these little pop-up boxes. Touch, 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 touch. Ooh, the Dreamer. Or ooh, look at this little thing. Little star. Other little symbols. And then of course our cute little bunny. And okay. To Mudrock. I still love how the Revenants are just like, Mudrock, tell us a story. What? No, you don't wanna? But Mudrock, please. Mudrock. Mudrock, Mudrock. Wish of the fertile earth. They currently stay in an inconspicuous nook outside of the city of Kasdal. The ruins resemble a building made of stone. Though most of its structure has collapsed, gaps between bricks and stone gradually worn open by the elements, leaving only a corner barely holding up. Just enough to function as a shelter, Kasdal casts an enormous shadow, shrouding the entire ruin in a darkness heavier than light. Heavier than night itself. Mudrock heard about the ruin's history from the Sarkaz living nearby. They said it might have been a royal court's fort separating them from the rest of Kasdal, or perhaps it used to be a statue of some ancient king of Sarkaz. A king so great that the Kasdal back then managed to make even outbloods kneel. They say it had been destroyed thousands of times, much like Kasdal itself, but somehow always survived every calamity that befell it. Miraculously appearing outside every new iteration of Kasdal. However, her squad members are uninterested in these improbable legends. Hey, hello, hello! Many of them are not Sarkaz, and are unfamiliar with those histories. They only chose this place to shelter in because the sole shabby wall that was sturdy enough to protect them from the night wind. In their long journey, they've already gotten used to spending their days alongside soil and stone. The team pitches tents, lights a bonfire, then takes stock of the supplies left for their journey. As they begin sharing wild berry wine between each other, Mudrock declares that they will set off again in the morning to find another settlement that they could call home. When the last team member falls asleep at the base of the wall, Mudrock looks at the paper cup in her hand, where an ursine berry now dyed crimson by the bit of leftover wine lies inside. Just then, the nearby colossus lets out a resounding noise as it gradually moves away into the distance. They could have kissed goodbye to the days where they could only hide in the soil and stone. Today, shipments of metal materials for buildings are delivered to Kasdal every moment. And ooh! Oh, Sunday night's gonna be fun. Music's episode was fun. And Tojima wants to be a common writer finally aired. Ooh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna add both of those. Oh, I am excited for the animated Kamen Rider. Like, woohoo! That's gonna be interesting. New buildings, though not as exquisite as Lathanian spires or Ursine fortresses, rise from the ground every day. The city's bustling new streets and alleys could perhaps give them somewhere to live. One day the squad might manage to find new jobs in there. They could build shops, clinics, schools, become builders of Kasdal, like the locals, and maybe even own a small berry garden on the outskirts of the city. Okay, I love the thought of this. Big Bob's farm, making a bunch of beer. Well, Mudrock has a berry farm for wine. Oh, they're just gonna provide for all of Kasdal's parties. Like, dang. Perhaps one day, they can also call Kasdal their home. Mudrock looks towards Kasdal. The city's shadow is finally gone, and the twin moons once again bathe the dilapidated corner with their clean light. She caresses the ancient bricks around her, and for a moment, seems to see new buds sprouting from the dry cracks in the rock. She sprinkles the last drops of wine into the wall before her. They disappear into the rocks like sweet spring water seeping into the desert. Perhaps a day will come when Kasdal will also become fertile soil for all. Now I want Mudrock and Big Bob to have a collab. They're gonna make the most insane cocktails together. And they will provide for all the parties. And heck, they can even sell their goods at Ines' store. Okay, that'd actually be adorable. See, it's all coming together.
I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was very sweet.
That was the end of Furnaceside Fables. But I have a thought to share. For Therese's, what do you make of the difference between our Therese's and Twin Crowns Therese's? Do you, he's still the same person, imagine, but what do you think? What do you think is the difference between?
Okay, the biggest difference between like the Teresa's himself, like ours is so. Let's see how I describe him. Ours is very, very stoic. Well, the other one, he seemed way more expressive. Heck, he seemed more like Teresa. A lot more sweet. Smiley. Heck, even would make jokes. Well, this one's just like, I'm just here. If people want this thing, you know, I'll do it. Whatever. No smiles, no cracking jokes. He's just there.
It is a shame to see not our Teresa that way. In his case, it was due to circumstances he had to be that way. I find it kind of bittersweet that if he was truly able to support Teresa's ideal, maybe we could have seen Teresa that way. Racist that way.
Yeah, we could've, but no. The doctor decided. It's a yo, Teresa's.
But
Wonder what's Omnanom?
if there's one but if there's one thing that is stay true to the both of them is that there's still a true general for Castle that will do anything for its liberation. It's just that's our Teresa's. He had to make a lot of sacrifices to become a ladder for the Sarkaz.
Oh yeah, speaking of Teresa's side, one person who I expected to show up more for this was
I imagine
Manfred.
that includes his own.
No Manfred.
What? So tomorrow we will finally start chapter 15. I'm very excited. What are you expecting to see there?
I'm so intrigued yet so worried about Monster's new form. Still wish I could have summoned her, but oh well. But oh man, like oh hi Monster, you got a new form. Like exciting at the same time. Oh no. It's like what brought about this change in Monster? Uh-oh.
Expectations, is it high or low in terms of anxious, of being nervous?
Hi, since it's like right after the war. I mean, we could see what happens in some of the other places. Like it seems pretty fine in Kasdo. Heck, Iblanacide seems decent in the end. But because this is like the direct aftermath, I imagine there's gonna be some craziness before, you know, things start settling down.
Uh, for me personally, I wonder where will the main story take place this time. This time in the third In the first, it was Ursus in Chernobyl. Second was Victoria. I wonder where the people wait for this.
Ooh, it'll be fun to learn more about new places. Or places we haven't been to in a while.
Events that took place after the aftermath would be Nuova Volseni in Syracuse. The Path of Life event in the PP is in in a year. And towards pirate life in Iberia and Kristen's event in Colombia where she broke the sky, as well as incident with the cousins of Federico and Arturia in Lithuania. Also, the event in the ending one of Misuki's Kairula Arba also took place during those 3 years.
Such eventful 3 years.
Eventful 3 years. A lot can happen in a year.
Well, definitely a lot can happen in a year. Like with our Dungeon Meshi collab.
What can you say about Nympha as our main character?
Like, it was nice seeing Nymph a lot more. But oh gosh, she got so invested in the story. She became addicted too. I wonder who ended up enjoying it more. The ancestors or her? More stories, more stories, more stories. I like how at one point Fremont was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with any of you guys anymore. Ermengarde, you do it.
The dreams and fantasies. Oh yeah, take a look by the squad. Take a look at the squad of the different teams. These are the operatives that I'm planning to prep.
All the different themes?
Back for now. Back, and
Ooh, I think you might have cut off for a little bit. Okay. Okay, squad. Ooh. Oh, little gray. Love this, was Mantis. Our sisters. Zarya. Silence, Ifrit, Oheok, Mir. That's Columbia, and then... Oh, Ager, it's gonna be so intense. Scotty, Spectre, Claudia, Upipi. Timor, Mizuki, oh Mizuki. Lumen, Irene, Underflow, and Lucilla. Hey, hello. Man, precious Mizuki deserves all the head pats. The archives in the network. Okay, network. Rhodes Island. Ooh. Oh yeah, speaking of the elite operators, I want them to translate that one manga. Like, it'd be so nice being able to learn more about them in their daily lives. That mystery one. Pith. Touch. I feel like they'd probably be good for chapter 15. Since I'm assuming they're gonna be directly involved. Well, of course, Logos is gonna be involved. Not sure about the others, though. Don't look at Amiya being the core of all this. I love how 12F is just by himself over here. I know something cute? Wait, where is Babel? What's over there? Oh, now I see. Aww. It's our happy little family. Wizardale, Enid, and Holderer. Like, I'm happy for them. And I love the thought of W just like, or Wizardale just going to their store every time. Like, it must be fun visiting Enos and Holderer. Like, I would be a regular there. Like, heck yeah. Very wholesome. And since it's just them, perfectly lines up over here. Ta-da! Babble. Like, that is very satisfying. Just the visual alone. Yeah, the next time we visit Kasdale, I wonder if we'll actually be on vacation this time, or if it's gonna be like Chirag all over again. You're like, okay, time for vacation. Ends up being forced to work and work and work. Like, part of me doesn't mind that, but at the same time, Doctor deserves a nice vacation for once. Every so often, we deserve one, I think. Or at the very least, let's enjoy some of Big Bob's products. And maybe see if Mudrock ended up making her berry farm. I want to go berry picking there. That's gonna be super sweet. Grim Billiton. Oh, Ager. Out of all the the Abyssal Hunters, the one who's most mysterious to me is her, Adriana. It'll be nice learning about her eventually.
Iana is actually God Han's personal OC in Arknights.
Ooh.
Hypergrapes boss.
I love that. Then there's our nice Glasgow gang. Aw, Tara. Mysterious phantom.
I don't have a blood.
She played hard to get.
I didn't know that Phantom is from Victoria. That's new. By the way, when it comes to Phantom's IS, it actually takes place before the Victoria arc, the Victorian War.
Oh, wow. It's like a prequel. So many of them here.
So prep streams, which one are you excited to eventually touch upon?
Ager. Oh, Ager's insanity. We will always return to the sea. I hope Thorin Skies are having fun.
Collab in Limbus Company actually has really great views in terms of story in Arknights. It actually says it encapsulates perfectly the story of Arknights there.
Well, that's good.
It's more
They did it justice.
overused.
Like, I'm happy for them.
Let's rate Fumizuki. I
Yeah.
want to know about more Fumizuki.
Mizuki's just so
Ishigashi.
mysterious. Oh, who Mizuki meant. Oops. Also, I'm surprised that Hoshiguma wasn't there at all either. Back in Yan Lungmin. Wei Yan was so freaking lucky.
And Hoshiguma definitely has some Higashi. Very lucky. Can you read Fumizuki?
Sure, I'll click on her for now.
I want to know more about her. For us.
Intel File 1, Fumizuki, politician, wife of Lungmen leader Wei Yanwu. Originally a princess of the Far East, she moved into Wei.
Oh, so short.
Yeah, I know, right? She moved with Wei to Lungmen, appears dainty and weak, but she's actually skilled in the use of Originian powers and has tremendous political acumen. She acts sweet and delicate, but is actually quite a visionary. She's her husband's most steadfast supporter. I like how she's a princess. Okay, here's a short two. Let's see, Wei Yanwu. Lungmin's political leader. Wise, polite, tough, and a good strategist. Highly respected in political circles. Because the lonely city of Lungmin relies on his unconventional diplomatic and commercial ties, it is currently one of the great powers on the world stage. Its present rapid development is proof of that. Wei is still in good physical shape, supposedly a result of his previous employment. Well, good for him, staying in shape. I like how that's one of the one things that is mentioned about him. Like, good for you,
That I'm
Yanwu.
most curious about. It's actually Ursus. Since Talola is coming back to Ursus to deal with her own business. I wonder if Reunion stayed or parted ways with Talola there.
I wonder too. It'll be nice when they eventually show more.
To be on Ursus for the sole reason of getting Tallulah as a playable character.
I know, right?
This time in the same place in Ursus. First encounter as enemy, the next is as allies.
Man, though. Like, come on, you know you want to make Tallulah a playable character especially, though?
That'd be cool.
She has to
And
do her
this
community
time,
service.
I like to personally help Tallulah with ending the block.
And having her free of creepy uncle is good. Stinky snake uncle. And it'd be cute putting her on a team with Chen. Here you go, sisters. Bond more.
Okay, I truly enjoyed the Furnaceside Fables journey with you.
Oh,
It was
Furnace
the,
Fables is
let's
great.
say, story time for the old minutes to put them to sleep like children.
They deserve to rest. And then there's the few revenants that are still out and about. Oh, those brats. But yay, that was fun. So then tomorrow is going to be the start of chapter 15. Woohoo! Oh, the insanity. But for now, I'm gonna head out of my room, get some nice water. With that being said, thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day and epic gacha luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Woohoo! Success!